group and let your friends also join from. Okay, Marissa, thank you. Ask all your friends to stay here in Dun system, but join me in Google Meet also because I'm going to share the file from Google Meet. Okay?
Manage your self-coherence.
Okay, my dear and lovely friends. As I told you last session today, I'm going to just show you a sample form of a proposal already prepared by our MA students. So you will see everything there, and you should take care. You should send me your proposals according to this sample, which I'm going to show you. And everything must be there for your proposal, as like as this one. Luckily, I talked about the features of a proposal and how to write it, how to manage it, and in detail explained everything for all my friends in its right way. So still, I am ready to answer to your questions about anything for writing your proposal. Once again, I should tell you that do not send me seminar case as the students of Dr. Masumi or Dr. Shahabi and others. I have asked you just to send me proposals, okay? Not seminar case, because seminar cases are longer. As I told you, it must be about, for example, 25 up to 30 pages. But for mine, as a proposal, you can prepare just 10 pages, not up to 15 pages. 10 up to 15. No matter whether it is 10 pages or 12 pages, 11 pages, 14 pages.
Doctor, please.
Not more than that.
Yes. Doctor, there is an echo. We cannot hear you perfectly.
What? I couldn't get over Your
There is
voice is not clear.
echo.
Your voice is not clear. Tell me again.
There is an echo.
Yeah, I think, echo is there. Problem is there. But, okay, talk to me.
Sir, there is an echo of your voice. We cannot hear you.
I think it is because some of your friends' microphones are open, activated, okay? They should deactivate their, microphones. All our friends who joined me from Google Meet should deactivate their microphones. Otherwise, there would be echo for my voice.
Sorry, doctor, there is echo because most of the students open both Dan on Google Meet at the same time. And
I know that mostly friends are here in Dan system. Sorry, in Google Meet, not in Dan. That is why this case is like that. But please, you deactivate your microphones if you like to hear me well and without echo and reflection. So you should deactivate your microphones.
They should mute the system and activate the sound from the Google Meet.
Allah, I cannot hear you. Allah Saleh.
Yes, sir. There is echo because they opened the Dan.
In Dan also, we are open in Dan also, and this case also is there. So what shall we do? There is no other way for us, because we should record everything in Dan system. Otherwise, your university will refuse our classes.
Yes, sir. They should mute. They should from the Dan.
That's okay. So just let me share my screen with you. Then inshallah you can see everything there. Okay, can you see now? Friends, can you see the file here on my screen?
Yes.
That's okay. Nice.
Yes.
So, my dear, thank you.
Okay,
so, my dear friends,
that's clearly. Okay.
That's okay. So, my dear friends, listen carefully. Your proposal, your, what we say, teasers and everything which you are going to prepare must have a front page. In front page, you should mention the name of your university, the emblem of your university. As you see here, Danishgah Azad Islami, Islamic Azad University. This is the emblem of that university. You should put this in your front page. Then you should mention the name of your own university. So here, Islamic Azad University Science and Research Branch, Humanities College, Department of English. You belong to the University of Science and Research Branch, and you belong to the College of Humanities, and your department is English. Okay, so you should mention these things. But remember once again, the initiating letters of these words must be capital. Islamic, I is capital. Azad, A is capital. University, U is capital. Science, S is capital. But and is a connector, no need. And prepositions, no need. Research, R is capital, and these things. Then, after this, you should mention that this is a thesis submitted for MA or for PhD and these things. But here, as a proposal, you should mention just a proposal submitted for MA thesis, okay? This is enough. So the title, you should mention the title here, okay? The title here is the postcolonial study of the hybrid identity in Shand Al-Frais, the Orchard House, and Jean Reyes Wide Sargasso Sea. So friends, as I mentioned for you, you see this is accepted title and your friends are started writing thesis about it. See, here the postcolonialism is the approach, is the theory, which already I told you title must include it. Then hybrid identity is the variable, okay, is the variable of the title. And the case study are two novels, The Orchard House and The Wide Sargasso Sea. These are the case of studies of these students, okay? So once again I tell you, this is the title, The Postcolonial Study of the Hybrid Identity in Shand Al-Frais, The Orchard House, and Jean Reyes Wide Sargasso Sea. Approach in this title is postcolonialism. Variable is hybrid identity. And case of studies are, we have two novels as case of study of this research. The Orchard House by Shand Al-Frais and Wide Sargasso Sea by Ray, okay, Jean Ray. So this is the title approved by your university already, and your students have started writing about it. After the title, you should mention the supervisor's name, not advisor, my dear friends. You should write supervisor, Dr. Aryan Ali, Dr. Mohsen, what we say, this and that, Dr. Shahabi, and these things. You should mention here, okay, as supervisor. And then by, you should add your own name here, okay, your own name, your own full name. You should add here in front page. This is the front page, and you should take care. You see here in this title, The Orchard House is in italic form because this is the title of a novel. It should be in italic form. And then Wild Sargasso Sea, again it is in italic form because this is the name of a novel and it must be in italic form. So let us see what elements, what features are there in this proposal. Okay, so the first thing is your title. Your title again must be there in the first page. Then introduction. See my friends, then introduction is there. Then statement of the problem. Statement of the problem you see here. It is there. Then purpose of the study. Purpose of the study again is there, okay? Or aim of the study. Or already I mentioned. Or objectives of the study. You can use whether aims of the study, objectives of the study, or purpose of the study. No matter, but this must be there. Then significance of study should be there. Significance of study, okay? This one also must be there. Then research questions. Already I mentioned you, because we follow MLA style, we need only research questions and we do not need hypotheses. Already I told you, try to prepare 3 questions. 3 questions. For your studies, 3 questions are okay, not more than that. Okay? 3 questions are enough. So this student has prepared 3 questions for his study. So the definition of key terms. I told you about this case. You should talk about your key terms. Then, for example, here he mentioned colonialism. Colonialism is one of his key terms. So he has brought some lines about the definition of this. So then post-colonialism is there. Then alterity is there. Alterity is there. Okay, as identity is there. Then hybridity is there as key term.
Excuse me, doctor. Sorry if I interrupt.
Yes, come on.
Yeah, I am Wahab. Sorry, doctor, if I interrupt you.
Yes, Wahab.
I wanted to ask about the definition of the key terms, please, doctor.
Yes, please. Why not?
Yes.
Last session I told you, maybe you were not in the class.
Sorry if I interrupt you again. Yes, doctor.
No.
We mentioned
okay.
only literary items.
No.
Or literary
key
terms.
terms. No, do not use literary item. Say just key terms, okay? What do we mean by term here?
No.
We have
only
some
colonialism, post-colonialism.
These are the literary terms, okay? These are literary terms.
Only concerned about the theory and theories.
Yeah. Sometimes your theory is not famous, is not common. Then on that time you should talk about your theory as a key term. But whenever your theory is very famous and everyone knows it, okay, then there is no need to talk about it in key terms, okay?
Yes.
So here,
okay,
in
doctor,
here,
for example,
colonialism is our theory for the title, okay, for the research.
Okay. For example, hybridity, diaspora.
Yeah, hybridity is there also, and maybe when hybridity comes to the metal things, to the technology, it means that mixing of 2 metals together. We call it hybridity or hybridity, okay? But in literature, hybridity is different. It means that the mixing of cultures. It means that Wahab is Iraqi people, okay? Is Iraqi. Then Wahab goes, after some years, Wahab goes to, for example, America to stay there, okay? So, Wahab already had the cultures of Iraq with himself. Yeah, then he went into America. Now, he is going to see some different cultures there in America, okay? Then, you are going to confuse yourself whether you should follow Iraqi culture there in America or you should follow the American culture. It would be a little bit hard for you, and this case brings trauma for us, okay? So here, the mixing of Iraqi culture with the American culture, we call it hybridity, hybrid culture, hybrid identity. Your real identity is Iraqi, but thereafter you got citizenship of America. Now you became the citizen of America, and you should follow those cultures in America. Okay? You should you put away your own identity, which were with you in Iraq. You cannot follow your identity of Iraq in America. So we call this hybrid identity, hybrid culture, hybrid economy, hybrid politics. Okay? So this is the case. So here in key terms, you should define your key term for the reader, for the listener, and for the supervisor and whomsoever. Okay?
Okay, Dr. So much. Thank you so much.
Got it, Baha? That's okay.
Okay.
Then, Then limitations and delimitations. Already I told you, you can bring this after review of literature, or it depends on you, I told you. But still it must be there, limitations and delimitations. Then review of related literature or review of literature must be there in your proposal. Some of you have sent your proposals for me, but I saw that these cases are not there in your proposals. Then please, you should take care of these things. You should prepare your proposal according to this sample, okay? So after review of literature, we have methodology. Methodology here. You see methodology. Then you should talk about your methodology here, but thereafter I will talk about. Just let me. Outline and organization of the study. This is the design of study, yeah, chapter design. The same thing is there. Outline and organization of the study or chapter design, okay? This is one of the other elements of proposal. And then bibliography or works cited, as already I have mentioned to you. So here, my dear friends, take care. You should follow MLA. Name of the book is here. You see, The Orchard House is the name of the novel, so it must be in capital. Then Virago. Virago is the name of publication of this book, okay? Is the already according to MLA style, some years back, MLA style asked us the name of the city of the publishing of book also, but now it doesn't ask the name of the city. It says that if you give just the name of publication, it is enough. And after that,
And this citation.
yeah, why not?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
why not? Yes. In bibliography or works cited, you should bring the references, okay? So, for bringing your references here, noting your references here, you should follow MLA style. If your references are books, are dramas, are novels, okay, you should mention in this way. First, you should give the last name or surname of the writer. Here, Al-Fari is the surname, okay? Then, Phyllis Chand is the middle name and first name, okay? Then, full stop must be there. After full stop, you should bring the name of the book. Here, the name of the novel is there, The Orchard House. You see, the first letters of the title is capital again. In here, the first letter of everything must be in capital, okay? So, after the name of the book, you should mention the name of the publication of that book, okay? Who has published this book? I mean, the name of the publication must be there. After the name of, here, Virago is the name of the publication. After this, you should put a comma, okay? Then you should mention 1982 as the date. But there is no need to use parentheses here. This is a mistake by this student, okay? Do not use parentheses for date. If you use it in this way, it is enough, okay? 1982. It is enough. No need to use parentheses for dates, okay? 1982. This is all. I mean, here you should mention. For example, the other one, Bear Elizabeth, R. The Sisterhood of Jane and Antonita Casway in Elizabeth Abel, okay? It means this is edition. The Voyage in Fictions of Female Development. Then Hanover and London University Press of New England, pp. 131 up to 184, and date 1983. So it means that this is the title of an article, not a book. Then, as I mentioned for you, the title of article must be in quotation mark. And again, it should not be italic like the name of book, okay? So after that, you should mention the place which this article has been published, okay? So this has been published in Hanover and London University Press, okay, New England, and you should mention here the pages of the article which included in that journal, okay? So here pages are 131 up to 184, okay? So you should mention these pages there also for articles, and then 1983 means the date of publication. This is for article, and the first one is for what? For book. And also, this student has forgotten to bring the name of the journal. But I know that there is a mistake here. A big mistake is there here with this student, and it is that the Voyage in Fictions of Female Development, okay? So there is problem here. This is the name of the journal, okay? He should italicize this because this is the name of the journal. He should italicize the name of the journal here, okay? And one more problem is there. There is no trace of the volume and issue. He should mention the volume number and the issue number of the journal also. But unfortunately, he has forgotten to use it here. After the Voyage in Fictions of Female Development as the name of the journal, okay, he should mention that volume 5, volume 4, volume 3. Then he should mention issue, for example, 10, issue, for example, 8. Then volume and issue, the number of them must be mentioned here for the journals. Okay, my dear friends, then do not forget. And you should arrange it in alphabetical way. See, A comes first, then B is there, then E, Elizabeth. Sorry. Then Braithwaite is there. Then Brunner is there. Then C comes. Chin is there. Child is there. Clark is there. Tsiolkovsky is there. Erwin is there. Hong is there. You know. Then Lawson is there. Then he arranged this bibliography according to the alphabetical order of English, my dear friends. Okay? So you should use this in this way also. Now, go back to the introduction. So in introduction, as I mentioned for you, you should give a background information about the title of yourself for the reader. Here, a theory is there for us, and the writer also is there for us. Okay, so we should talk about it. Postcolonialism. We can talk about postcolonialism here, and also we can talk about these two writers and their books, and maybe we can mention some things about hybrid identity as one of the features of postcolonialism also. Then it's okay, for example here, to mention that I am going to talk about hybrid identity, for example, from Homi Bhabha's point of view. Homi Bhabha, the critic and writer, Indian critic and writer, he talks mostly about postcolonialism and, as England colonized India, so he is so familiar with this case, and also he talks about hybridity, cultural hybridity especially. So we can talk about these things, but my dear friends, we are checking now. Good engines are there. Whenever you are going to prepare your cases, take care. If you plagiarize, if you just copy and paste, we have engines, okay? For example, Metapaper. We put your files there in Metapaper, and exactly it checks it, okay? Your plagiarism for your thesis must not be more than 30%. If it goes 31%, they will reject your case, okay? You can get help from the texts, from sites and these things, about 30%, okay? If it is more than 30%, then they will reject your case because it is taken as a plagiarism, means stealing something from others' work. So here, especially in introduction, your own words must be there. Or at least if you take something from somewhere else, you should paraphrase it. Because I told you, when we are checking your proposal, your thesis, your article, then immediately whatever is there in all over the world, these engines are going to show them for us. And unfortunately, if your cases are only copy and paste, we will reject your case. The statement of problem. I told you, here again, just you should write this part with your own words again. You cannot copy and paste something here, because the statement of problem means that what problems you faced, not others, okay, about your title. So about this case, you should take care. Then here, see, the problem which you faced, you should talk about it. For example, this student has wrote that Alpha's literary career, the most magnificent of which is the Orchid House, revolves around problems of alteration, identity, hybridity, and diaspora. Diaspora means, I told you, if you change your culture, if you migrate from your country for another country, then you will face diaspora. Diaspora means a disease of confusing the cultures and identity, like trauma. So here the problem is this. This novel revolves, okay, around problems of alteration, identity, hybridity, and diaspora. The Orchid House depicts issues of the experience of hybrid identity too. Hybrid identity, okay? The novel takes a particular interest in post-colonial literature. Then the novel which you choose for your title here means that it should deal with the theory which you have chosen. For example, if you write here mysticism, so in mysticism we have not something like that, like hybridity, like diaspora, like different identity, okay? In mysticism, then your theory is postcolonialism, and in postcolonialism, these cases are happening. I mean, different cultures are coming together. So this thesis or this proposal will endure to examine how the novel represents the hybrid identity in Caribbean fiction under the light of postcolonial reading. The most important for this thesis is the relationships between children and their parents, or in a case of absent parents, the relationships between children and their protectors. As a father, as an Iraqi father, as an Iraqi father, as I mentioned, for example, if you go to America and get married there to someone, then your children would be American, but you yourself, you are Iraqi. Then these problems will come. You are going to say to your children there in America, in Iraq, we had these cultures, you should obey me, you should follow me, you should do this way, you should go this way. But your children are not going to obey you, follow you, because they are the children of America, though you are Iraqi, okay? So they are going to follow that culture, not yours one, okay? And if you try, if you, impel them to follow you, then problems will come. Then problems will come. They will fight you. They will, disgrace you in this way. So this study aims to examine in what ways postcolonial conditions lead to postcolonial hybrid identity. So these are the problems which maybe this student has faced with them. Then aims and objectives of the study, or purpose of the study, or aim of the study. The aim of this study is to negotiate or discuss. Negotiate means discuss. Hybrid identity in Alfred de Archet House through the theory of postcolonial. It aims to examine how postcolonial conditions lead to hybrid identity. Okay? Then characters of both novels are suffering from complexes which are related to cultural identity in character construction, and what kinds of similarities and differences are present. So there is grammatical problem also here in this proposal. The main focus of this thesis analysis will be on the female heroes of the novels, specifically Antony in White Sargasso Sea, as well as Stella. These are the heroes or protagonists of these two novels, John and Natalie in the Orchard House, and also briefly discuss on other characters such as the male protagonists like Rochester in White Sargasso Sea, and the master in the Orchard House, as well as the two black nannies, Christophine and Lali, respectively. Okay, so this is the aim of this study. Then we come to the significance of the study. So this study gains significance. Why this is important? Why this study is important? As its findings can shed more light on understanding not only the relationship between problems of alternity, identity, hybridity, and diaspora, but also the relationships of children and their parents. Hybrid identity has been one of the central concerns of postcolonial literary criticism in the Caribbean fiction. The findings can also be utilized in the studies concerning with the concept of hybrid identity and its cultural and national identity aspects on human relationships in Wild Sargasso Sea and the Orchard House. So this is the significance of the study. Why this study is significant? Because it can show the hybrid identity, and then it can show the identity of the children and their parents, and also it can help the others to study on this case as much as possible. Research questions. This study aims to answer following questions. Okay. So some questions must be there as well. How do the characters in Jen Raiser's Wild Sargasso Sea adopt the issue of postcolonial hybrid identity? This is one question. You should answer this question in your thesis. 2. How do the main characters in Chand Alfred's The Orchard House adopt postcolonial hybrid identity? This is second question about second novel. And the third question, in what ways the black characters of Jen Raiser's Wild Sargasso Sea and Chand Alfred's The Orchard House adopt postcolonial hybrid identity? In what way they adopted it? They accepted it, okay? I mean, hybrid. It is really a hard task to change our identity, our original identity into another identity. So these are the questions which these students should answer. For these questions during his thesis and within his chapters, answers must be there. Then definition of key terms, as I mentioned, here is colonialism, is the establishment of a colony in one region by a political power from another territory, and the subsequent maintenance, growth, and exploitation of that colony. Okay, the term is also used to describe a set of unequal relationships between the colonial power and the colony, and often between the colonists and the indigenous peoples. So postcolonialism, in this way also you should just briefly explain these things for your listeners, for your readers. Hybridity refers in its most basic sense to mixture. The term derives from biology and was subsequently engaged in linguistics and in racial theory in the 19th century. Its current uses are scattered across several academic disciplines and is salient in popular culture. Hybridity is an enticing idea in current postcolonial studies. In its dominant form, it is claimed that it can provide a way out of binary thinking, allow the inscription of the agency of the subaltern, and even permit a restructuring and destabilizing of power. So we come to the limitation and delimitations. Here this student has mentioned that the present study, like many other research
Excuse me,
projects,
sir.
yes, yes, come on, please.
Can I ask something about the aim of the problems? Here, the researcher put it in points 1, 2, 3. Is it possible to write it in similar as, not following the same
No
thing?
need. Please,
Explanation.
no, do not use them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just use them as sentences, okay? No need to mention this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay?
Yes.
In proposal, it's okay just to write them in sentences. Do not mention this is. Do not outline it as 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay,
the problem. Yeah.
Thank you.
The first problem is this. The second problem is this. Okay. Just use your sentences. We will understand how many problems are there. No need to mention. The problems are like this. Problems are as follows. 1, 2, 3. No, this is not okay with academic writing. Okay, any other question?
Yes, sir. I'm asking this citation about the reference. I have sent you my.
We are going.
proposal.
We are here. References, Marek?
Yes. No. I'm talking about the references for the introduction. For example,
You mean?
if I no about not about the page of references I was cited. No. I'm talking about in general. Okay. So if I write, for example, the introduction, most of the introduction I write it by my own words. For example, when I talk about the novel or
that's
talking about the.
That's okay.
Yes. So I don't have to put at the end of paragraph the citation, or I should just put in at the page of reference. So
You can do that. You can do that, Tarek. If you see you need to bring the citation from someone, it's okay. You can bring it in your introduction, but you should acknowledge it. You should give in text reference for that. For example, if you use my words in your introduction, you should put them in quotation mark, okay? You should put them in quotation mark. It means that these are not your own words. Then immediately after that, you should give the reference in front of your quotation. It means that in the text citation, you should say that Aryan, for example, Aryan 25. It means that this is article, book by Aryan, and I take this passage, this text from the page 25 of Dr. Aryan, okay? You can use it.
No, you didn't get the idea. For example, if you read now my whole proposal and you didn't find any reference at the end of paragraph, you say, how is that possible? I would answer and say, this is the whole introduction that's talk about the novel, talking about everything that I'm talking about is in this title. It's written by my own words. I understand. I have read a lot and I'm using my own words. I never quoted. I never used this and rephrased it. So I never put it in a citation, a reference to other paragraph. Is it possible for that? Or I should put in a reference in every paragraph at end paragraph in introduction?
If these are your own words, Barek, there is no need for reference. If you used something from the texts of others and you paraphrased it, even if you paraphrase the words of others, then you should give reference, okay? If not, these are just your own understanding from some text. And you are talking about these things with your own words, okay, then there is no need to give references.
Okay. How about the literature review? You have told us that if you want to,
Yeah,
about
there
the
also
section.
I mentioned, there you cannot, you should use your own words. There, in literature of review, I will show you here right now. You should talk about the works of others, but with your own words, okay? There is no need here in the review of literature to give citations, to use the exact words of others. If you use, again, you should give references. If not, that's okay. But there, you should mention the name of the writer and the name of the work also. But with your own words, you can explain whatever is going there in that book, whatever is going there in that article, okay? And if you like, you can bring some quotations from those books, but mostly we do not bring in review of literature. But in the bibliography, you should mention, I mean, the full information about the book, about the writer, about the pages, about the publication, and these things. You should bring them in your work site part, okay?
Thank you, sir.
So I mean that, Barak, your own words also again can be there for your review of literature. Already I mentioned you. If you use my book, for example, The Ocean of Purity, okay, by Ali Aryan, then you have gone through that book and you have read something from it about your title, okay? Then it's okay to say that Dr. Aryan in his book, The Ocean of Purity, states that, says that, okay? Then with your own words, you can explain whatever is going on there in my book. But if you bring something exactly from my own words, okay, the writer's works there, then you should give reference. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can.
That's okay. Yes, limitations and delimitations. Limitations and delimitations means shortcomings which are there in your study. The present study, like many other research projects, see, we mentioned this, it means that every work of study has its shortcomings, has its, what we say, problems. Still some things are there because we are human beings and we are not complete, okay? So this study also, as other studies, okay, projects, faces limitations. It confronts unavailability of enough sources in the libraries or bookstores related to the study, okay? So especially in our country, Iran, as we have not Visa cards, so our students cannot buy enough books, enough articles from outside, I mean from foreign countries. And this is English literature, not Persian literature, okay? And our students should buy them from outside, from broad countries. But it is not possible for them to prepare all of them. So it is better to mention here unavailability of enough sources in the libraries or bookstores related to the study. So furthermore, gaining access to wireless connection or some. This is a really big problem with us also. And I am sure that in Iraq also the same case is there, okay? Gaining access to wireless connection or some free websites are limited. Sometimes you are going to collect some articles online, okay? Then for that also you should pay something. And even due to the weakness of, for example, internet, Even you cannot buy if you have either this Visa card, you cannot buy because you cannot download it, okay, because internet is so weak. Besides, for limiting the present study within boundaries of time and facilities, just investigate 2 novels. I could choose 5 novels, but I should prepare my thesis within 6 months, or not more than that, okay? Then I should prepare it within 6 months. Then I cannot take many novels for different novels from writers. There are many novels in all over the world about postcolonialism, about hybrid identity. I cannot manage all of them, okay? It is okay to mention here, within boundaries of time and facilities, just investigate 2 novels by these writers, and not more than that, under the scope of postcolonial hybrid identity. Whereas we have many other things about postcolonialism. For example, we can study these novels from diaspora, okay, point of view, from trauma point of view, from what we say, alienation point of view. Many points of views are there, many variables are there which we can use for postcolonialism, okay? So just again, we can mention that due to the shortage of time, this study just investigates the hybrid identity of postcolonialism in these 2 novels. But others maybe can study from other points of view also. Okay, see, my dear friends, here he has mentioned that Inayatullah, review of literature. This is the writing back to the empire, okay? Writing Crow, identity in White Sargasso Sea. This is an article, the title of an article, and Inayatullah is the writer. You should mention this. Then says that, states that, says that. It means that you as a student, you as the researcher, is the narrator of this case. You says that he says like this, okay? But you are not going to give exact words of him because you cannot remember them. It states that Antonita is worried and anxious about her identity or even the absence of identity. In this article, after maybe reading it with your own words, you are going to explain these cases which are related to your title, my dear friend. You cannot choose and use material which do not deal with your title, which are not related to your title. You should use just those articles, those books which are related to your title and to your variables, nothing more than this. And in this way, you should go forward to prepare your, what is it, for another mode, for example.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Something about the literature review.
Yes, please, come on.
When we are talking about this point, for example, we are talking about the view of the writer, not about our review. That's right?
No, you cannot give your own view there. No, never ever do this. Because you are talking about, you are talking about others' writings, others' texts, others' views. You cannot give your view there, okay? It is dangerous.
His point of view, yes, just my own.
Here, in this part, you are only shooting camera. Shooting camera. What do we mean by shooting
Yes.
camera?
Because,
It means that camera is an instrument which shoots whatever it sees. Whatever it sees. Shooting camera cannot have its own idea, cannot change even the events which are going to shoot, okay? So here, you are just shooting camera, not more than that. You cannot put your own idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
But good question. Thank you for asking. These are some good questions, and we should know about them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, for example, Res Asset Chanel in, again, this is the name of an article, a post-colonial reading of White Sargassy by Jane Ross. Declares that, informs that, shows that, reveals that, indicates that, says that, discusses that. It means that this is not you. This is someone else who is talking about these cases. But these are just your own words, your own way of narrating something. So the other one is Vilja Strong in, again, Anthony Sargasso states that. You see? Then the other things are there. Then here he has mentioned Anthony Vital in Toward an African Eco-criticism, post-colonialism, ecology. Again says that states that. Mention the name of the writer with the name of the book, with the name of the paper and these things, and then indirectly you should talk about his ideas in that article or in that book. Methodology, the way of collecting your data, the way of analyzing your data. We call it methodology. This study begins with a brief but efficient introduction which states the main concerns of the research and offers a summary of the basic theoretical concepts and issues under investigation. It intends to divide the whole work into 3 chapters. Here you can say, but we have one more chapter, one more already, as the name of chapter design. In that case also, we can talk about these things. But sometimes, according to university rules, you should mention those things in your methodology also. There is no other way. Remember, my dear friends, our methodology for English literature is a librarian methodology. It means that you should read your primary data and prepare your